I look at the chart, the ETH Bitcoin cross. It's forming this little wedge pattern short term. I think it's going to break that any day now. Then the next move is to 0.08. That is the big level. It's the massive kind of resistance level. And if it goes to that, you know, that cross is going to move up at least 100% or more. ETH 2.0, there's like only 11% of all ETH left on exchanges. There's no supply, and that's going down every day. And demand is going up exponentially. And the only way, if you've got supply that's capped, the only thing that's going to happen is price goes up exponentially. So I'm incredibly bullish ETH.
I hold Ethereum. I'm bullish on it. I'm staking ETH too. I do believe Ethereum has first mover advantage. But one thing that is in the back of my mind and thinking about the future of adoption are these gas fees. How do you personally look at this, and do you see this as a risk that a Solana and some other Polkadot or something can overtake Ethereum eventually as a result?
Maybe. I'm indifferent. You know, I have no emotion about does Solana become a larger network. It's a trade-off between centralization and decentralization. The reason the gas fees are so expensive in Ethereum is because it's so popular. So that opens up opportunities for other chains. Do they become a chain that ends up being larger than Ethereum? Who the hell knows? And it doesn't really matter. People take it like it's a personal thing. It's like, do I care whether Google is bigger than Apple or Apple bigger? No, they're all going to exist.
Do you have a price prediction for ETH at the peak of this respective bull run?
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes over 20,000, and I have done for a long time. And there's a potential for even further because of the staking dynamics and stuff. But my general view is that it goes to 20,000. That was, and I say that with a relative level of confidence. That's just a repeat of what Bitcoin did in 2017. It kind of overlays pretty well. It's not perfect. It was perfect for a while. The charts were like spooky tick for tick. Now they're not, but contextually kind of makes sense for me. It's only a 4x from here. I mean, we've seen Bitcoin do 4x or ETH last cycle did, 4x, 5x, 6x in the last month of the year. So who knows? I think the cycle extends anyway. I think it's not going to be the same Bitcoin halving cycle that we've seen. I think it's changed because of the nature of people who are in the market now as well, with the institutions coming in and others. So yeah, I think it goes further and higher than most people imagine. If you can show me the network dying in Ethereum and network growth slowing, then that's a serious issue. If it's not, then it's not. Right now it's highly observable that the Ethereum network is growing faster than the Bitcoin network, and Solana and Terra and Avalanche are growing faster than Ethereum, but from a lower base. That's fine. So they're all growing. And the Bitcoin network is growing. So every one of those is growing. And so at this stage, it doesn't matter.
Do you see the cycle extension going to maybe mid next year to blow off top is in mid next year or beyond that?
I think mid next year. I think it's somewhere around if ETH we've just discussed is so important to the current environment of where we are, arguably it's more important than Bitcoin because of how much is being built on it and is driving prices because of NFTs and DeFi and all these things moving the price of ETH. Then the ETH 2.0 staking, whenever that happens, and not the staking, the release of ETH 2.0, I think around that is the moment. Because you kind of know, I know I've been arguing a bit on Twitter about this, I've always said that the moment it's released is probably a buy the rumor, sell the fact. And everyone's like, yeah, but my ETH's already going to be locked for a longer period. But I can front run you because I know you have to sell your ETH. You might sell your ETH as soon as you're unlocked. So why would I give you the benefit of higher prices to sell into Markets know positions.
Look at the chart, the ETH Bitcoin cross. It's forming this little wedge pattern short term. I think it's going to break that any day now. Then the next move is to 0.08 is the big level. It's the massive kind of resistance level. And if it goes to that, that cross is going to move up at least 100% or more. So basically my view is that ETH is going to dramatically outperform Bitcoin. I mean, already this year, ETH's up 350% and Bitcoin's less than 100%.
It always outperforms Bitcoin.
Yes, particularly at this point in the cycle, right? Yeah. So on price action alone, I'm very bullish. On network model, it's growing faster. More people are coming to the network faster than that happened at Bitcoin at the same stage with the same number of users. There's more development going on it, more applications going on it. It's kind of like, and they're just reducing the supply with the EIP 1559 and then ETH 2.0. There's like only 11% of all ETH left on exchanges. There's no supply, and that's going down every day. And demand is going up exponentially. And the only way, if you've got supply that's capped and demand going up exponentially, the only thing that's going to happen is price goes up exponentially. So I'm incredibly bullish.
What are your thoughts on Bitcoin's adoption and also price prediction for this bull run peak?
Bitcoin's adoption is relentless for different reasons. It's a great balance sheet asset, it's a savings asset, it's a long-term vehicle. It has that, incredible qualities to it. And I think adoption just continues relentlessly over time. So I don't see any change to that whatsoever, even if the layer 2 doesn't really take off, even if they don't build smart contracts on it, I don't think it matters. I think Bitcoin has its value proposition and people are pretty comfortable with it. And it's very different to Ethereum. It stands in its own, and it's universally accepted for what it is. So my price prediction is, I still think it gets to about somewhere between 200,000 and 300,000.
Yeah, you would almost be better off holding altcoins, Ethereum or others, which are performed better.
Well, look, I'm looking at my screen. As of today, Bitcoin is up 95% this year. Ethereum's up 517% this year. And XRP that's on my screen is up 335% this year. So Bitcoin's been the worst asset to own of the majors. This whole space is driven by adoption and new entrants. The number of active wallet addresses has remained below peak and when price got to peak. So what we're not seeing, and the number of new wallets is still, the seven-day rate of change is still relatively low. So what we haven't seen is headlines of Bitcoin goes to new highs, up 50% in a month, that drives in retail and panics in institutions. So we've been missing that, and I think it comes. Institutions are allocating, but we're now, in the last 2 months of the year, in the last month of the year. So generally, if they're making their asset allocation decisions, they'll either put it at the end of this quarter or beginning of next quarter as they start fully allocating into this. So I know the institutions are all coming, they're all involved, but I think a lot of them are like 2022, we're going to allocate to Bitcoin. My general view is that it goes to 20,000. Then the ETH 2.0 staking, whenever that happens, and not the staking, the release of ETH 2.0, I think around that is the moment.
ETH 2.0, there's like only 11% of all ETH left on exchanges. There's no supply, and that's going down every day. And demand is going up exponentially.